Welcome, dear viewers, to this special coverage edition dedicated to electoral campaigns for the municipal and regional elections that will take place on the 11th of this March. Today marks the 10th day of electoral campaign activities for these elections launched in all the territory by the participating parties. After the Oboh region yesterday, the team of the National Communication Commission, led by Mr. Musa Muhammad Umar and composed of 5 commissioners, went to the city of Tajurra. The visit is part of the regulation of the broadcasting of meetings and proximity meetings of the regional election campaign in competition through the National Organs of Information. To this end, the members of the mission met with the prefect of Tajurra, the representative of the UMP list of Tajurra, Mr. Abdul Umar, the representative of public authorities, and the representative of the media. The representatives of the public authorities of the heads of the prefectures informed their interlocutors of the smooth running of the campaign for these elections. The head of this CNC mission emphasized the impartiality of the media in this coverage of the meetings and other proximity meetings with the voters. As a reminder, the National Communication Commission's mission to ensure pluralism of information and free access to media for the lists of candidates competing for the Office of Public Affairs through free and democratic elections. After the meetings with the officials of the prefecture, the delegation led by Mr. Musa Muhammad Umar made contacts to check the quality of reception of the radio and television. Below, we listened to the head of the CNC team, Mr. Musa Muhammad Umar, and the candidate of the UMP, Mr. Abdul Umar.
Les représentants de l'IMP et les responsables des antennes régionales des médias. Nous avons échangé sur la couverture médiatique et rappelé le respect de la déontologie et du pluralisme de l'information, tout comme nous avons rappelé le temps d'antenne de 60 minutes par liste et par circonscription dont disposent les listes en compétition et qui doivent être utilisées donc, dans leur intégralité.
The framework of the campaign of the communal and regional elections of 2022 is still continuing everywhere in Djibouti. In this is in Ali Sabih, the list of independent candidates Watani as a joke moved yesterday evening in the locality of Ali Adde for a meeting that has massively gathered the inhabitants of Ali Adde. Let's watch. Warmly welcomed by the inhabitants of this locality, the list of Watani as a joke of the region of Ali Sabih, headed by Mr. Faisal Mahmoud Waberi, first thanked the people of Ali Adde and they made a point of developing the projects and achievements in view of this locality. Then the list of candidates Watani as a joke have in turn expressed their commitment. A member of the list of candidates Watani as a joke has harmed the list. Watani as a joke supports the policy and the roadmap of the President of the Republic, but does not support the mismanagement of the list of candidates of UMP on the road, situation, electricity, and the inclusion of women in society. Finally, Ransamiri Farah concluded with his greeting to the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Ghalle, and the First Lady, Mrs. Khadra Mahmoud Haid.
qodobka saddexaad ee niisino dadka walaalaheen ee cali cadani la degan cabasha naga soo gaadhay cabashadaas oo ah iskooladu inay ku yar yihiin macallimiinta 40 kun la siiyo taasina waa taana waan ka jawaabaynaa educationka waa loo diray baaqadu insha Allah taala tani dhismaha qaladana waa loo biirin hadduu Ilaahay yiraahdo ballanqaadka aniga qaadnay waana xasuusin doontiin meel baad ku qoran doontiin waana la xisaabtami doontiin
maanta ala cadde waa mudow ina
Faisal Mahmoud Waberi, head of list of the list Watani as a joke, stressed that the materials deployed for the beautification of Ali Adde have been used for personal purposes, while Ali Adde has no electricity, no street lighting, no water, and that now the list Watani as a joke will remedy all its problems, claiming a maximum of votes from the inhabitants of Ali Adde.
on lagu footaysiin baan doonaynaa codkeyga waraaqadeeduna waka walaalaya.
The independent candidate, whose political program is focused on justice and development, went late in the afternoon today, accompanied by his campaign team, to Galilee to hold his meeting with the inhabitants of this locality under a palmyra tree. Let's watch.
markiyo ushabaa u dhibtee aaminay haddaan nahay
Headed by the independent candidate Mr. Muhammad Hassan was welcomed by the traditional chiefs and inhabitants of this village, showing a particular enthusiasm for this event. As usual, the candidates took part to this opportunity to present their plans for the future and speak broadly about their political program. The opportunity was for the inhabitants of Asamo, who joined the idea of supporting the independent candidate with his new policy that wants to bring a change, and in doing so manifested their appreciations to some new things while getting rid of the old ones that symbolizes interior.
oo wax lagu kala tagay ma jiro xagan baahideedu way badan tahay anigu waa iman jiro wax ka shaqayn jiray dadka intiina badan way garanaysiin ma malayn.
Many people took the microphone to present to the inhabitants of this district their projects before urging them for a massive participation for the great day to come, which is none other than Friday, March 11, 2022. They also raised the issues relating to electricity, water, health, and road that remain a nightmare for the inhabitants of this area. Finally, the independent candidate as well as his campaign team all declared themselves confident about the massive participation on the election day for a new momentum.
waxaa oo dhan hawlaha waxa qabanayay Conseil Regionalku. Conseil Regionalku waxa weeyaan meeshii uu hadlaysay dadkeega oranaysay halkan maxaa Minister de Santé-ga taas ula hadlaysay ka oranaysay dadka halka maxaa ugu tala gashay ilma yar imika haduu dakhramo waa ina gaari la sugo sidaan deeani la muuqato waxa weeyaan shaqadii Conseil Regionalku waxay tahay inay u adeegaan bulshada waxa weeyaan iyaga waa la soo arkay haday wax qabteen iyo haday qabanba anagu dad jadiidaan hoo Soomaalidu waxay tiraahaa war lisma garab degay waa lisdaba degaa maanta bal maanta anaga hanu nagu eego ina wax tar yeelaniyo in kale intaaba u soconi.
Still in the Ali Sabih area, the candidates of the Union for the presidential majority continued their electoral campaign, where they organized a meeting with the residents of villages in the Ali Sabih region. Let's follow.
anu insha Allah waxaan ku hadlayaa dhalinta Kaarti Ali waxaan kala ku hadlayaa ekiibka handballka madaxiisa maanta waxa la doonayaa walaalayaal in laga hadlo waxay Conseil Regionalku ay noo qabteen waxa weeyaan muddo 3 sanadooda sanadkii saddexaad weeyaan Conseil Regionalku waxay sponsorisayeen ekiibka handballka ee rag iyo hablaba leh
halkan u joogaan u hadlayaa waa Chateau magacii Kaarteegana waan ku hadli magacii ururka ajisadeyna waan ku hadlayaa maalqalooc 100% way garab joogtaa
marka UMB-du ma lagu soo dhex beeri karaa iminka ma la sheegan karaa waa midaan
It's worth noting that Ali Sabih is the only region in which 3 lists are competing, represented by the Union for the Presidential Majority list and the 2 other independent lists, Development and Justice and Watani, as a joke.
boqolkiiba 80 waa dhalinyaro walaalayaal dhalinyaradu annaka waa garabkayaga midig dadka wax nii qabanaya dadka wax nii taraya dadka ininku aad garanaysiin inay wax nii tarayaan garab joogsada waxa hirgelinaya siyaasadda madaxweynuhu ugu tala galay dhalinyarada waxa weeyaan waa faylka aan madaxa ka ahay 17 qof haday tahay Teheraan haday tahay Centre de Loisirs haday tahay meel dhalinyaradu ay ku kulmaan walaalayaal way noo qoran tahay horena waan iglu qabtay imikana waan ilii qaban doonaa.
Within the framework of the electoral campaign for the municipal and regional elections for the year 2022, the candidates of the Union of the Presidential Majority list of Arta region conducted an election visit today with their supporters to exchange information and opinions on improving the living conditions of these people.
mudane cilmi buuxo wowluhu xaku gaadab galin mudnaanta dadka ku siiyey horaad ugu samiciintee mar kale midigtooda
The head of the list of the Union for the Presidential Majority of Arta participated in this meeting. Candidates of the Union for the Presidential Majority in Arta began their electoral campaign in the district according to what was mentioned by Elmibo, head of the list of candidates for the Union from the district of Arta.
كل سنة قد جيار عن لما هو كو نبارو هبا لان تمل ديسي نبارو ددال سطول مد درسم كال السره وسطول محرنا لك عسلك قد جدا لا يبطوبته وكورونا كادونا ياكم تسنتر اللي نمي عرتاي عرتاد دستريجي فايدة دقيل انتم بولي هرحنو أو أنا هرسي فايدة سوفر تقرب أنا مالك عسل لا وكنتم صدقا أنتم تامي تعرتها فك عرتها دلني أمرك وهو فرصة كادوي وتنن كادو قد كاك حسنا ما اسماعيل عمر قال لي كاي حكومتاي ندولتين كي كل سنة قد اللي
Still in the framework of the campaign for the communal and regional elections of 2022, the UMP list of the region of Dakhil organized its fourth meeting with the youth of the City of Unity in the sports stadium. An electric and festive atmosphere, the joy was drawn on the faces of the youth of Dakhil. Upon arrival, the list of the UMP of the region of Dakhil, headed by the outgoing president of the regional council of Dakhil, Mr. Mahad Hussein, was warmly welcomed with songs and dances by the youth of Dakhil. Of the UMP list of the Dakhil region took turns at the microphone to call on voters to give them their votes on the 11th of March.
مدحوينها دالك مدن اسماعيل عمر قيلي
The head of the list of UMP candidates of the region stressed the record of his political formation in the field of access to entrepreneurship, promotion of sports and professional integration. UMP candidate of the Dakhil region, Mr. Mahad Hussein, asked the population to vote for the UMP list of the Unity region.
Je suis fier d'être Dakhilois. Je suis fier d'appartenir à cette grande famille dakhiloise. Une famille où règne l'unité, la fraternité et la paix. وتاس وحن دونينو إن حوجنو وحد مركز النجونا وحن بلن قاضينا إن سدا سلك شقد هذا اللي هلا يسنان شقد هذا اللي هلا يبنمو شقد هذا اللي هلا يو وده هذا يجعله راد دخل أنو شقيرنو دليرتنا سجارة أنو شقيرنو مركز وحوي taas waxay imanaysaa jimcaha 11 mars marka aan iska dhammayno hawsheeda ee gebigeenna oo dhanba aan wala vooteyno ee aan u vooteyno listiga maxay UMP.
Moving to Hayu now, the candidates of the UMP of Oboch moved this morning to the locality of Medeho. Let's watch. On their arrival, the UMP candidates were welcomed by a crowd composed of young people, men and women. An electric and festive atmosphere, the joy was drawn to the faces of these inhabitants. At the end of our proximity meeting between the UMP candidates and the inhabitants of the Medeho locality, the head of the list of UMP candidates in Oboch, Mr. Mohammed Hamad Ismail, presented his assessment in the prospects for socio-economic development of these localities near the capital. In addition, several candidates of the UMP in Oboch took the microphone to call on voters to give them their votes on the March 11. As the tradition wants, the notables and elders of this locality in turn have expressed themselves, first to welcome the delegation of the UMP, led by Mr. Mohammed Hamad Ismail, head of list, and have made known their grievance, the road, the permission of craft. At the end, the speakers all reiterated their confidence in the candidates of the UMP of Oboch by promising them to vote massively on election day. The head of the list of candidates of the UMP in Oboch, Mr. Mohammed Hamad Ismail, thanked first of all the population of the Medeho for this gathering. He recalled his record in the prospects for socio-economic development of these localities. He emphasized the projects which intends to carry out concerning the project of creation of honey production. Then he made known that the electrical of the locality of Medeho counts enormously for him and for the coalition which he represents. He informed his electrical about the preparation and organization of the vote on the 11th of March.
هدف لنو هو هدف ne tamaatini ne cigtana saacadka samaatigu macata ala saktaban keetiya tamaatihi waraqit ne cidana ma haagida inik amballa.
Still in the framework of the activities of the communal and regional electoral campaign, the head of the list of the UMP in the White City in Tajora, Mr. Umar Hussein, moved to 3 villages of the sub-prefecture of Dora, namely Andabba, Boyo, and Balho. Let's watch. First of all, the delegation composed of the candidates of the UMP in Tajora, led by the head of the list, Mr. Umar Hussein, accompanied by a strong delegation, went to the village located at the foot of Mount Musa Ali. The inhabitants of in the sub-prefecture of Dora warmly welcomed the delegation led by the head of the list of UMP candidates in Tajora. UMP candidates had a meeting with the population during which several points were discussed. The young women as well as the men and women attended this meeting concerning the situation of the population. Several points were raised. This after Boya, the delegation led by the head of list of the UMP, Mr. Umar Hussein, went to the village of Andabba. On their arrival, the population of Andabba welcomed very warmly. Then under a tree, a meeting with fruitful exchange took place between the UMP candidates and the wise men of Andabba. Several important points were raised in the field of health, education, and agriculture. At the end of the meeting, the delegation composed of the UMP candidates in Tajora, led by the head of the list, Mr. Umar Hussein, went to Balhu, where they had a grandiose proximity meeting. On their arrival, a radiant crowd of the population of Balhu gave a warm welcome to the delegations. The atmosphere was festive at this great event that marked the unwavering support of the population of Balhu by its mobilization. Moreover, after this, through the speech, the deputy Mr. Umar Aden specified that he has no doubt to the population of Balhu concerning the vote. By that, he asked them to demonstrate Friday, March 11 by voting massively for the candidates of the UMP. Heading back to the capital in the municipality of Bel'aus, the list for the Union for the Presidential Majority organized the 6th communication meetings. Let's follow. Accompanied by hundreds of supporters and representatives of youth association and women's civil society, in addition to a large gathering of supporters that organized meetings with the residents of the 6th district. The list candidates competing for 65 seats presented the list electricals program, which aims to strengthen and promote social solidarity and take care of the cleanliness of the various neighborhoods of Bel'aus municipality.
annagana ducada waa inay nagu daayaan iyo dabajoosiga iyo fadhiga yaa inaan soo saaro oo boqolkiiba siis la yidhaah.
Finally, last but not least, the team of the UMP Balbala continues their awareness in the neighborhood of Piki 12 and Zone 4. Let's watch. Balbala is composed of a dynamic team that is active daily to make the campaign throughout the town. The list of UMP Balbala is composed of 62 candidates that they succeeded each other at the microphone to make the assessment of the achievements of the previous team in the new projects underway for the great town of Balbala. Also, the team of UMP Balbala continues their awareness in the neighborhood of Hayabley. UMP Balbala is composed of a dynamic team that is active daily to make the campaign throughout the town. The inhabitants of Hayabley welcome them with acclamation, singing and dancing. They promise them to always lean to the side of the UMP. The list of UMP of Balbala is composed of 62 candidates, and they succeed each other at the microphone to make an assessment of the achievements. By this, our beloved viewers, we conclude this special coverage edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you once again for joining us. Take care.